India is building, is emerged as a global tech hub, building products and, technology for the masses, right? I have really witnessed in the last decade a booming digital economy in India, right?
It's an out of the syllabus question that I will ask.
When it comes to security, data privacy, I think we have to make sure insurtech is a very highly regulated and compliant industry.
I hope Google's listening to us.
They are already working on it. We thought that we are a decade away from it,
Right.
but I think it may be a reality in the next, 2 to 5 years.
Hello and welcome all. I'm Shilpi Dasgupta. I'm joined by Mr. Bragadish Sureshkumar, the Chief Technology Officer at Zopper. So Bragadish, take us through how the experience has been, traveling outside versus now in India. Your experience will really matter. Let me just start the conversations today.
Sure.
Understand.
I spent almost a decade working in the US and, the last 15 years in India. It's been a truly phenomenal time when I see there is an unprecedented growth happening in terms of tech landscape as well as the talent pool. I think while US being the innovation leader, right? I think
Right.
they build great products, cutting edge technology. India is building is emerged as a global tech hub, building products and technology for the masses, right? I have really witnessed in the last decade a booming digital economy in India, right? Where this cutting edge tech coming out of various different parts of the world and the company, can be leveraged and can be used in the products that we build as well, right? I think it's truly fascinating time to be. I think I've witnessed the vast talent pool in India, right? Always on mobile, right? There's a great opportunity for us to build, those cutting edge technologies, for the masses, whereas a mobile first approach, right? And whereas in the US is the, phenomenal, talent pool with highly specialized skills there, right? But truly fascinating time to see, both unprecedented growth in the last decade, both in US and India.
Well, that's quite impressive. And we cannot not talk about AI. It's the buzzword, and with the recent launches, and I mean, you know it all, right? So, tell us how AI has impacted the B2B insurtech space. Any case studies, any experiences that come in your mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I think coming off this Google I/O that just recently wrapped up,
Yes.
I am just picking up my jaw off the floor, right, with what Google has announced in the last couple of days. It's just phenomenal pace of technology advancement, and the greater side of that is that it's available for all the companies to,
Right.
all the people and companies to build great products around, those cutting edge technology. Some of the recent announcements that actually fascinated me is this, Google Gemini, 2.5 Pro, also this Imagen, the Flow, the Veo,
Right.
the entire bouquet of, announcement has opened up, to us, our AI-driven future would look like, right? I think it's just phenomenal times, and how that impacts us is something is a great question, right? I think what these advanced algorithms or technologies that are available out there,
Right.
right? It helps us build some smarter products, right? I think layer in the AI, the algorithms that we need to do it for targeted use cases, right? In the products that we can build, right? Especially in the B2B space, in insurtech, where the adoption seems to be a greater problem for us to solve, and these technologies will help assist in layering those intelligence in the areas where we want, like maybe simplify the form filling, pre-fill some of the data, do some predictive analytics, give accurate recommendations, right? And also empower the entire back office using this technology with the vast amount of data that is out there, right? And automate most of the back office processes as well for B2B. These are game changing innovations that are happening there that we can leverage in layering in the intelligence at the right targeted use cases in the products that we build for our partners.
Thank you. That reminds me, actually, when you were talking, and this is quite, it's an out of the syllabus question that I will ask.
Sure.
But you spoke about customers, right? And today,
Correct.
customer is the king. We We tend to sometimes focus so much on tech, but we forget that customer also needs to pace up with the technological aspects, right?
Right.
So how do you, as a tech guru, if I may have to say,
Sure.
uh, help customers, especially by using AI, by algorithms? What's your take on that?
See, customer is at the core of the products that any company would build,
Sure.
right? So how do we leverage the technology in terms of enhances this customer experience, either while using the product, right? We need to aim for getting the wow factor, the delight from the customer by using the product. Insurance as it is like very monotonous, long form filling, very complex. The regulatory changes, kind of creates some fiction in terms of simplifying the flow, and then we need to go through the steps that is required for you to be regulatory compliant.
Right.
And I think the product needs to be built with compliance in mind, right? Also customer experience. It's a great problem to have. On one side, you have a large amount of complexities, and the other side is like the customer is expecting a very easy to use sort of a journey, right?
Right.
And tech can play a big role. As I mentioned before, I think the algorithms that are out there, right, will be able to assist us in terms of giving that wow factor to the customer by layering the intelligence at the time that that they are interacting with the product, right? I think those are all some of the areas where the tech can play a big role in the customer experience.
I'm sure it will. So, Bragadish, we touched upon almost on all the factors, but one thing that is stands out and will always, I'm sure you will agree to that, is that data and compliance and privacy. These are three things that keep on, it's the buzzword. These are the buzzwords, right?
Right.
So, how do you tackle such situations? Because it's not an easy job. I mean, we can always think of integrating tech, and here's the product,
Right.
but data and privacy and compliance, so to
Sure.
speak, it's very important. So,
No, very, very important. I think it's a great question, by the way. I think what from the compliance and data perspective, right? In this space, what we have seen is a lot of manual data manipulation happens. Using like pivot tables and Excel sheet and all of the vast amount of data. It becomes humanly very difficult to manage when an organization is working with a large data sets and there's a manual process involved, right? I think with the technology, right, I think the human level inferences can be made, right, with the data, right? So, although the data that's coming in is not a very structured data, right? Sometimes the pivot tables have complex, kind of calculations, and I think the Excel sheets will just not have numbers, but I think some sentences and formulas, etc. So the technology can come in and assist in automating all of that, right? I think it can enhance greatly and empowering all the back office stuff that this industry is currently plagued with. When it comes to security, data privacy, I think we have to make sure insurtech is a very highly regulated and compliant industry. So there are rules and regulations that guard us in terms of what we should be doing in handling customer data, because at many times we have PII information, customer sensitive information, their bank account numbers, their KYC data, right? All of these need to be protected, right? And these the technology advancement in terms of maybe the cloud software, or maybe having a very highly encrypted vaults that needs to be built in terms of safeguarding the customer data, where it will be increasingly difficult for any bad actors or fraud to happen to break into those walls to so there are regulatory aspects that actually guide us in terms of what level of protection that needs to be given for the customer data that we handle. So I think it's very, very important that the customer data is safeguarded at any cost.
I'm sure. Very sensitive topic, but important and cannot be missed, right?
Absolutely.
So, Bragadish, we're almost nearing the end of this session, but we have a quick rapid fire round. So, if I may,
Yes.
what's the most misunderstood aspect of AI right now, as per you?
Most misunderstood aspect of AI. See, AI is, as people think, it's not a human level comprehension at this point in time, right? AI is very narrow, task oriented. It's trained to do a certain, use cases, but it doesn't have the human level thinking yet. So, but that's coming very soon.
Okay, what's a moonshot tech idea you secretly wish to do?
A digital assistant that can, get our jobs a lot more easier. And I think the advent of some of the AI assistants that we currently see, there is a scope for it to become a lot better. A true agentic AI experience in whatever that we do on a day-to-day basis, and I think that's something that I'm waiting for it to appear. Yeah.
I hope Google's listening to us.
Oh, they are already working on it.
What's the one or two bold prediction in the tech space you think that will, you see in the coming 5 years?
Right. So when we talk about AI, there is something artificial general insurance, AGI, right?
Okay.
I think we thought that we are a decade away from it,
Right.
but I think it may be a reality in the next 2 to 5 years. And I think the industry is, I think the unprecedented, pace at which the advancement happened, I think we should be, getting there sooner in the next 5 years.
Okay.
All right.
On that note, thank you so much, Bragadish. It was really insightful. I hope our listeners, readers, they take huge notes of what we just spoke today.
Yeah, had a great time. Thanks, Shilpi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If you want us to cover any other topic, please drop a comment. Thank you.